Hello there! Today I'd like to talk about the skill-based matchmaking present in the Modern Warfare beta. Well, I don't know if I'd like to, but I will. A bit of a dirty topic, unfortunately. But based on the testing I've done, not just a feeling, I believe it is very clearly being used here. I'll show you what I found though, and you can decide for yourself, because to my knowledge this isn't something that they've confirmed, it just seems very obvious. I don't know about you, but while I've had my fun, my average experience in the beta, and the experience of all my friends, has been, this game is pretty hard. And these are people who I know are easily 2-3 KD players without trying, and they're struggling. And we're left thinking, well, it is the beta, the casual audience isn't playing yet. I mean, we all did good in the betas of previous years, so man, maybe I'm just bad at this game. This experience was seemingly so universal that I decided to look into it. The way to test it is pretty simple, by reverse boosting. Just so you know, I've actually never reverse boosted in any game or even a beta before. It seems exceptionally dumb, and I'd definitely consider it cheating. But for science, here we go. First of all, I used a controller the entire time, no mouse and keyboard, just in case there was any form of input-based matchmaking in the beta. I doubt it, but I wanted to remove that factor, so controller only, and I got to killing myself. Okay. No, in-game. That's what reverse boosting entails, if that's a new term to you. Killing yourself over and over, making your stats crappy, to essentially pose as a bad player, so that if skill-based matchmaking is a thing, you would be put in low-skill lobbies for an easy gameplay, or to drop a nuke, impress the ladies, whatever your goal is. I also ran into people and let them kill me, and shot a bunch of bullets to lower my accuracy, and I made sure to get 1 or 2 kills in every game just in case there was some kind of rudimentary form of reverse boosting detection where a 0-kill game would get tossed out, who knows. I did this for only 5 games. On the 3rd, it felt like results already started to become noticeable, as if I had turned the difficulty down 1 setting. People had slower reactions, didn't jump, didn't head glitch as much. By the time I was on the 5th game, this one that you've been watching on Azir Cave, I'm used to not being able to move anywhere without getting shot from a head glitch, but after only 5 games, people have become shockingly bot-like in their movement and reaction time and accuracy. These were some recruit and regular level bots. And look, any new players out there, I hope you are able to enjoy your experience here. I hope you stick around and continue to learn the game and improve. Everybody starts out as a new player. The point of this is not to laugh at people for learning the game, so please don't think that this is about matchmaking. I just have to properly illustrate how clear the difference was. Half the lobby I could practically dance around. This is what makes me so confident in the skill-based matchmaking. This isn't a game that I subjectively thought was a little easier than before. No, I never ran into anything like this before. In this game, there was one guy on the enemy team who did pretty well with the default FAMAS class, but even he often struggled to kill me, and yet he dropped a chopper gunner in this game, camping in one building. I didn't even feed him most of those kills. Also, after every single game, the levels in the lobby seemed to get lower and lower, from all 20s in the beginning, decreasing down to a mix of people largely below 10 at the end. So that was the 5 games of dying. Now, let's play to put it to the test. I put on the top 3 streaks I had access to because I foresaw this being fairly easy, and sure enough, holy moly man, player behavior felt literally bot-like. I did die once because I'm a bot myself, but more or less the whole time I was running around without a care in the world, feeling invincible. It was dumb. I felt bad, as I should, because I was a cheater picking on children.
It's killing me.
The way they played was so clearly not normal. They stayed in their spawn. Some people seemed AFK, but not fully AFK because they weren't getting kicked. We had to really push into their spawn, and there's a point in this game where I was waiting around mid, not pushing towards them, because I was expecting the spawn to flip, but it took so long because my team was also of similar skill. This also highlights how resilient the spawns are to flipping in this game. Maybe there's something that tries to spawn you near action, because that other half of the map was completely empty and nobody was spawning there. Anyway, that was game 6. In game 7, it was similar. This time there were more full AFK people for whatever reason. A couple of them got kicked after a bit, and I had seen all I needed to. I left that game and was done with the beta for the weekend. There's my experience with testing for skill-based matchmaking. I would say the results speak for themselves. In this game, I went 33-1, and I'm not a 33-1 player. This wasn't even try-hard mode. I was playing without sound for half the game. So we'll have a little discussion portion here. I don't want to drone on for too long about the skill-based matchmaking debate, the pros and cons. It's been done to death. I understand and agree with the thought of sheltering new players in some way, but I think the best solution to that is a level-locked bootcamp playlist as an introduction to the game, like we've seen in the past. The COD player base is a lot more experienced than they were in the Modern Warfare 1 and 2 days, when a lot of us may have been getting into the series as new players. So that protection may be more necessary now than it used to be to allow new players to learn and catch up a little bit before getting thrown in. But I personally believe skill-based matchmaking does not have a place and should be reserved for competitive. In public matches, there needs to be an incentive to improve. That is a major part of the fun. You see that guy in the Juggernaut suit? If I put in the time, someday I'll be like him. You want to get better so that you can do better, and that applies to both lower skill and higher skill players. There's no incentive to improve if no matter what, it always feels the exact same. There's no reward for finally getting good enough to call in a Harrier if it's always equally difficult to call in a Harrier. And as a higher skill player, you're always sweating it up, you can't chill and goof around with different guns and off-meta strategies. That'll be punishing because you'll be going up against the best of your skill. And you don't even know how good you've gotten because there is no visible skill rank. It's all just behind the scenes matchmaking. Now, if you do enjoy the sweating it up for the win and you want to find a worthy opponent for your skill, that's why there's ranked play. You play to win against people of your skill level, and you actually get to know what that skill level is because you have a rank, and you strive to improve that rank. There's also the point people sometimes make of skill taking precedence over connection in matchmaking. Obviously that would be bad, but honestly I think that almost never happens. There were connection issues in the beta for many people, especially over in Europe I've heard, but I would guess that's an unrelated problem. So there's my position in a nutshell. I know there was a Game Informer interview a couple months ago where they talked about wanting to have skill-based matchmaking in this game, but that they were also aware of not wanting to ruin the experience for the higher skill group. They acknowledged that if it gets too sweaty, that isn't fun, and also said how if you're a low skill player who's getting into the game, you just get beat up on, and the community doesn't grow, so they wanted to have some sort of balance. Well, if it's this strong at launch, I don't think this is balanced, and this is the kind of thing that can ruin the community's perception of the game. Not to be too dramatic here, I really like Modern Warfare, but a sweatfest created by strong skill-based matchmaking will be a bad time for a lot of people. And you might think, well no, wouldn't it only be a bad time for half the people, as in the half that are above average, and good for the other half? Well, as I said, after you get your footing in the game, maybe in a bootcamp playlist, I think this matchmaking makes the game more boring and repetitive at every skill level. And also, the portion of the player base that is active on Reddit and Twitter, those people are more likely to be in the upper half of the skill level, so the complaining about it will be very loud, and that's why I say it would ruin the community's perception of the game, and that in turn will turn a lot of people off. So I'm left wondering why they chose to have it this way in the beta. Did they think it would give them better data and more valuable feedback on how the game plays when you're playing against people of equal skill? Conspiracy Corner time. Did they say, hey, you know, a lot of new COD players will be trying the game in the open beta. We don't want them to get stomped so that they have fun and are more likely to want to buy the game, while the hardcore people are going to buy it anyway. And maybe they actually don't plan on having it this strong at launch. Maybe I'm being optimistic there. Or did they want to try it and see if people would complain? Because I know this had a big impact on my experience of the game. I'm thinking, this game is so campy, everyone's behind head glitches, this is so hard to get used to, I can't seem to do well. Well, maybe a lot of that is actually not the design of the game, but a large part of it is the matchmaking. So, food for thought. I know this matchmaking debate has played out a million times at this point. You can let me know what you think, though. I very much hope they do not force this on everyone at launch. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.